What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DS, and I'm here with my guy, Dino Bam Bam.
What's going on, Dino?
What's up, brethren?
Just chilling, brother.
Today, well, this weekend, we have a massive card, massive pay-per-view, massive co-main event, and massive
Everything's huge about
main
it.
event.
Everything's massive.
Everything's bigger in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
But we wanted to just throw out some feelers, right? No matter if you think Volk's going to win or Islam's going to win, somebody's going to win, right?
You would hope.
That's a fact, okay?
There could be a draw.
I doubt it, especially in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
If it's that close, they're giving it to Islam. Let's be real. But we made another video about what's next for Islam Makhachev. I think the majority of people are assuming that he's going to win, especially Volk's coming in on short notice. I don't know if you guys have looked at his bod a little bit.
Dad bod. He's got the little elbow surgery he just had.
Doughy. He has the elbow surgery, super short notice. He didn't fill out in his frame. All these things. He's in Abu Dhabi instead of in Australia, where they have one of the strictest rehydration clauses. So there are many things working against Volk in this one.
Not to say there isn't those things against Islam Makhachev, just as a quick disclaimer. But yes, I think more is against Volk.
Islam's not coming in on short notice, all this stuff, right? Sure, he has a change of opponent too. There's that, I've said this before about this fight too. There's a lot of mental stuff here going on too, right? Let's say Volk does win. We've seen crazier things happen, right? We just recently saw Sean Strickland beat the shit out of Israel Adesanya for 5 rounds. Basically just beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds. So we just saw another upset last weekend.
Grant Dawson and Bobby Green.
And then even
Edson Barbosa and Sadiq Youssef.
Exactly. So
and the blue corner, the underdog, has won the last since 290 Volk won. He was the favorite. 291 was Gaethje. He was the underdog. 292 in August. I don't recall what that was. But
what was that?
Somebody.
Adesanya? No.
That was 293? I'm tripping right now.
UFC 292.
Regardless. Yeah.
Was Sean O'Malley.
The underdog Sean O'Malley won. Then Sean Strickland, the underdog, won at 293. And now we're at 294.
We're five straight weeks?
No, not 5 straight weeks, but 3 straight pay-per-views. And a lot in between.
And
a lot in between then. So
that's a lot, dude.
The blue corner and the underdog has won the last 3 pay-per-views.
So the point being,
yeah,
we've seen crazier things happen. And let's be real, man. If there's one guy that you can't underestimate at this point, it's Volk. All those things, are they positive? The things that I mentioned that are against him? No, of course they're not positive.
Right.
But I can't possibly doubt this man.
Right.
You know?
No, I get it.
So let's say Volk does win.
Yeah. So if Alexander Volkanovski wins right now, imaginary world, he's the double champ, right? He's got the 145, which he's been defending for a long time, and he's the newly crowned 155-pound champion. First things first, do you want to see him keep both divisions active? I know that's what he's saying he wants to do. How realistic is that? And is it something you would like to see him do?
I think that there is one guy probably on the entire UFC roster that who if he says he wants to do that, it's Volk that I actually believe could do that. Now, is it a 36-year-old Volk?
Right.
Is he? How is it? It's not. It's not a ton of weight difference, right? It's 10 pounds, but moving up and down between the weight classes constantly. And you're getting the best of everybody. Every single fight.
Yeah.
Volk is what? Is he 36?
He's something like that.
So, so even 2 years ago, for me, it would be an emphatic yes. I want to see him try to do it. It hasn't really been done.
Yeah. The only person that's ever done it is Amanda Nunes.
Right.
That's had 2 belts and defended both of them.
And let's be real,
while
dude.
yo-yoing.
145 and women's is a joke.
Right.
So there's 8 women on the roster, you know?
Yeah.
So it's totally different to me, and just the damage that you take from fighting other dudes, right? You're getting the best of everybody. Volk is really good, but it's not the aura of around Nunes where it's she's the GOAT, she's untouchable,
yeah.
So if anybody was going to do it, I would be down for it to be Volk. I don't love the concept in general. These guys are already not that active. You know what I mean? So, do we want to hold up a whole division? So I doubt Dana wants it either.
So, in an ideal world, right? In an ideal world, You want each division, you want that championship being defended twice, I would say, per year, right?
Minimum,
Ideally,
yeah.
that's like what you're looking at. Every 6 months, your champ defends their title. That would mean 4 defenses a year for Alexander Volkanovski. And that's yo-yoing between...
That's crazy, dude.
Right. I don't think it's plausible.
That's the thing. It wouldn't be that.
Right.
And then, God forbid, he goes through like one
war.
Yeah. He's medically suspended. They're gonna take the belt off him.
And we just
Dana's not gonna let that just happen.
Of course. And we just saw the burnout, which is a huge thing here. If you're trying to fight that off, and we just saw the burnout with his teammate and his friend Israel Adesanya. He's super burnt.
I'm not convinced that
Sterling
Aljamain Sterling
right.
isn't experiencing some of that too.
So burnout is a real thing. That's something I worry about. So let's say he is doing that, right? He wants to defend them both. The UFC's like, all right, we'll give you the opportunity to do it. What do you want to see first? The 45 being defended again, or his first title defense at 55?
Of course, 45.
Okay, so you're thinking Ilia Topuria is the next matchup to make for Alexander Volkanovski.
The matchup's made.
Right.
I think Ilia Topuria should feel very slighted.
Yeah.
And I get the circumstances. He's doing the UFC a favor. I'm sure Ilia understands that too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be something. There's got to be part of him deep down where he's like I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
And this guy is just gonna think
kind of like overlooking.
He's just gonna take a guy that he went to a pretty much a war with like a few months ago.
Yeah. And
he's just gonna assume that in 3 months or 4 months, whatever it is,
he's good to
fight. He's just
me.
gonna be fine again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it has to be featherweight, right? Because also just logically, this belt was just defended in this title fight.
Right. In October, yeah.
Right. So then I think it's naturally next. The fight's already made, and it has the much more clear-cut number one contender, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know Charles, obviously, he's there, and I would love to see that.
Volk and Charles would be a banger. So that's what I wanted to ask you next, right? Let's say he does go and defend that 155-pound strap. Would you rather at that point see the trilogy with Islam Makhachev, or would you rather see Volk versus Oliveira first?
You know they're going to make the trilogy.
Okay.
You know they're going to, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I would assume
they're going to do that. They're not going to just lose the whole Abu Dhabi, Dubai market. They're not going to do that.
Right.
And
shame, though, because I do have to mention it again, and we mentioned it a little earlier. I'm looking at it right there. Aljamain Sterling didn't get his rematch. That's a guy that really deserved it and didn't get it, but the politics comes into play. So, yes, I do believe Islam Makhachev, if he does lose to Alexander Volkanovski, will get an immediate rematch.
Yeah, because what crowd does Aljamain Sterling bring with him?
And how about the... I get it.
Trust me.
I totally understand it. I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah.
If Volk does beat Islam, I'm willing to bet that his first fight after that will again be Islam Makhachev.
No question.
And it won't be Ilia Topuria. I think they're going to just go and let Max and Ilia scrap it out for an interim, and then have Volk and Islam probably rematch at like 300, 301, something like that.
Do you think Max wins that?
Do I think Max beats Ilia Topuria?
Yeah.
Yes. At this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're right. It's hard to pick against Max Holloway.
It is.
Anyways, all those are interesting fights. Volkanovski's saying he wants to do it. We don't necessarily think it's possible, right? That's kind of like the conclusion here.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm a Volk fan.
Right.
You are too.
Yeah, 100%.
I would like to see Volk win.
Yeah.
He had everything in his favor last time.
I'm saying, would you like to see him defend both belts is what I was asking. Not do you want to see him win this weekend? Yeah. Is it something you want to see? Even though we've just talked about how not likely and not possible it is it something you would like to see him try at this point?
Like, just me personally, would I enjoy seeing that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. More than anything, because of the new matchups we could see.
Yeah. There's a whole new world at 55, right?
Dude, think about the matchups there then that you could see.
Yeah.
Gaethje, Volk.
Right. Chandler,
Volk.
Yeah, I'm down.
Dude, those are wild matchups. You know what I mean? Like,
it is crazy, and that would greatly boost his legacy.
Oh my god.
I want to talk about double champ status.
Yeah.
What does that do for Volk's legacy, and where does he rank at champ? Like, there's 4 people that have done it. It's been Conor, it's been Cejudo, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, and the 5th, presumably here, would be Alexander Volkanovski. Where does he rank in those 5?
If Volk, sorry.
Yeah, no, please. That's it. No.
If Volk beats Islam this weekend.
Yes.
and then goes to 155 and keeps both belts, you're saying?
I'm just, yeah, sure.
Keeps both belts.
Yeah.
And what? Defends
each one once.
each one once.
Yeah, and then it's just like, whatever. At
He's
that point,
he's a top 3 fighter all time.
top 3 fighter of all time.
Of all time.
And he is...
It's GSP, Anderson, Silva, and Volk.
So he surpasses the other champs. Conor and Cejudo and DC and
Conor,
Nunes.
come on.
Right.
I love Conor.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, he's not a serious contender in that conversation.
Right.
Truly, like, the true goats of the sport.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
fair.
I'm not talking about draws and what he did for the sport. I'm not taking anything of that away, God forbid. Cejudo, it's just like, he left, you know? Like, he left, and I respect it, you know? But weaker division, too, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't as... like
Smaller guys.
The talent that he would be... that Volk would be facing at 155 would be daunting. So it's a still, you know, some serious dudes there. Serious power and serious talent. And
DC, it's like, there's the whole John Jones thing, right? Like, that's always going to be like a cloud that's over Daniel Cormier. It's like,
and the fact that it's at heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know, it's just less skilled, you know, like... And, like, okay, Stipe's the heavyweight GOAT. Like, people say that, right? Like, I don't think Stipe is that good. Like, I just never thought he was all that good. Like,
That's fair, yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. I don't look at him as like, oh my God, the GOAT. Like,
right. There's been better heavyweights in your mind. And it's just like Stipe Miocic happened to be very good
in
at
my
a time
opinion, Cain Velasquez in his prime is the best heavyweight of all time.
Right. I mean, guys like Fedor, right? There are guys like that. And then what about Amanda Nunes? Just to throw this curveball in there.
I mean, it's different. She's a woman.
Yeah, so it's just a whole different...
Yeah. Look, I don't see how... Bro, look at how dominate... Okay. How hard of a guard... Okay, is Max Holloway a top 20 fighter all time?
I think so.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I can't think of everybody on the spot right now, but I think he's top 20. You got to put him up there somewhere.
I'd say top 10, like, blindly.
I wanted to say top 10. Yeah. I don't want people to come for my neck right now. So, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. The
Multiple
fight was...
it was an absolute dismantling.
Yeah.
Yair Rodriguez, interim champ, absolutely dismantled him.
Yeah.
Look what he did to Korean Zombie.
Jose Aldo, right?
Look at look at Ortega, who had him, the heart that he showed versus Ortega when he was about to be submitted.
Yeah.
Would not tap. Right? If he beats Topuria too, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how you can't say. And just look at the skill set. Look at the skill set. Like, it's unbelievable to me. Like,
he's really good. Let's say...
Look at the record, too.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh, and here's another guy you got to throw in there if we're talking GOATs.
Yeah.
Khabib.
Right, of course. The record speaks for itself. 29-0. Another guy, though, that similar-ish, I guess, to Henry Cejudo. It's like, you left.
You left?
There were still things to be accomplished.
Oh,
there were still
many.
Records to be broken.
How many times? You defended what?
4? 3 or 4.
I want to say 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4 title defenses. Regardless, he left a little too early, right? Now the funny thing is Islam Makhachev has the potential to end up as a bigger great than Khabib does, which is like wild to think of, right? Let's say Volk beats Islam here, and then he goes on and he beats him in a trilogy. Does that do anything for the legacy? Does that push him up any further than 3?
If Volk wins, and then there's a
trilogy,
a third fight, and he wins that too.
Yeah. Does that do other things for the legacy? Does it push him past those guys that you think are ahead of him? What does Volk have to do to be the GOAT?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? How many title defenses does it take? Who does he need to beat? Is it winning the trilogy against Islam, beating Charles, beating Topuria, and then you're done? Like, you're basically done at that point.
I guess what it really comes down to is Volk's, in that case, in my opinion, Volk's GOAT status relies heavily on Islam. Okay. And what Islam does after that.
Yeah.
Because if Islam goes back and just continue, and then like just continues to demolish everybody else, then, man, we have to start having that conversation.
Right.
Is he the GOAT?
Yeah.
So
he's approaching Mount Rushmore is all I'm saying. Couple things
I think he's there, man.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's not there now, like, he's really, really close. Like this, winning this fight alone.
Do you think he's definitely a top 10 fighter all time?
No,
as of right now.
No question.
As of today.
No question. I could probably argue top 5.
Interesting, yeah, and I wouldn't argue with you, man.
Yeah.
The dude is an absolute beast. So we just wanted to talk about, you know, a little bit of what's next for Alexander Volkanovski, what this win would do for him if he were to get it. If you guys are interested to see what we think is going to happen in this fight, we do have our full card breakdown. I'll link that for you guys down below. If you guys enjoyed, do us a favor, click the little thumbs up, ring the bell, hit the subscribe button, do all that stuff. You can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. DS, anything else from you?
Also, check out the video that we made for Islam, too.
Yeah.
So, what's next for Islam Makhachev, assuming that he wins? Just different kind of thoughts on it.
That's going to be appearing right here about right now. This is really cool if this works and I'm trying to do this thing.
I hope
it
so.
should be right here.
You look like an asshole.
I look like such a piece of shit. Guys, he's DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. Thank you so much for watching. The video's right here. Thank you. Peace.